Welcome to a 3v3 on Pavlov's house. This is one of the new maps in the rotation, and since I've never done a cast on it before, we'll take a quick look at the tactical map. It appears to have strategic points right outside the base initially. 4 in the north, only 3 in the south. I guess this is the 4th one in the south, so I don't know. Kind of asymmetrical layout of the strategic points a little bit. Sort of asymmetrical in general. It's got a horizontally symmetrical layout if you look at the munitions, one here on the left and the other one here on the left. And then the fuel placement's also kind of interesting. I don't know. Like I said before, when I was talking about General Mud, I prefer that team games have the fuel points be more naturally close to each side, because if you lose a fuel point, it generates too big of a momentum swing, in my opinion. But I guess it's good to have both designs. So clearly General Mud and Pavlov's house are operating on a similar design principles here on the placement of the resource points. At least the munitions points are pretty natural. Pretty hard to lose control of your munitions point on this map by the look of things. So yeah, pretty simple layout as far as the point placement. Nothing like too crazy. No crazy cutoffs or anything like that. And the victory point's also pretty much straight in the middle of the map as well, kind of weighted more towards the left side. And I can see why the left side would be pretty important. If we look at general layout of the map, it looks like it's pretty urban. I see a lot of buildings, just buildings everywhere. I don't know if I think it's a short-range map though. Despite the fact that there are tons of buildings, it looks like it will generally favor long-range engagements, just because of the way of the placement of the buildings and cover and everything. Oh look, there's a hulled down tank right there. But yeah, just the general placement of structures and obstacles. Looks like in general we're going to be looking at long-range engagements, but I can definitely see some short-range engagement opportunities. I see a pretty decent amount of green cover sprinkled around too, so I think there's lots of opportunities for infantry movements to be interesting. And a lot of the buildings on this map appear to be fully destroyed, so they cannot be garrisoned. There's a decent mix of garrisonable and non-garrisonable buildings, I would say. So a lot of them purely decoration and vision and sight and shot blocking. And a lot of them actually do have tactical significance. So it looks like a pretty interesting map. I think you could definitely see some pretty fun games on this one. I certainly like it a lot more than Cootied Summer, based on what I'm seeing so far. And I think I probably like it more than General Mud too, because I don't really like the mud on General Mud. I don't know. I think the layout of General Mud does actually look pretty good though. So yeah, it looks like a pretty decent map. Just on my very first initial impressions so far. I think there's a lot of potential here, judging by what I've seen. So I think that's enough discussion of the map. Look at our players. We've got CourageousFeeder, Cootied, and Chris playing as double Soviets, 1 Americans. All commanders already chosen: Shock Rifle, Lend-Lease, and Armor Company. On the Axis side of things, we've got this person, Kappa, who is also known as Why So Serious, and Siddolio playing over here. I think this person is named Hetty. But yeah, I don't know what that spells. I don't know what that says. So yeah. And no commanders selected by the Axis yet. Up to a 1 command point, so no pressure on them to make any selections, and it looks like the map is largely going to the Allies right now. Axis having trouble getting any territory under their control. This point is still uncontested. And the concentration of green cover and a little bit of yellow cover over here is making it difficult for the Axis to assault, although it appears that Siddolio is spamming Pios, so I guess that's his own fault. I'm not really sure what his plan is. Kind of fun to see a mostly urban map. It's kind of an urban landscape, but still mostly long-range engagements. It's, I think, a delicate balancing act to try and create a map with an urban feel, but still not be completely Allied favored, which is buildings and short-range engagements and flamethrowers everywhere. So I would say that is something that this map has succeeded in accomplishing. Kind of like the statue right here. That looks kind of cool. Battle group headquarters going up in a pretty defensive location. Although it is pretty much out in the open and could be assaulted by these trench positions and stuff, the Axis should be able to maintain control of this area since it's so far away from the Allied base, way down here. Munitions are largely under Axis control since no real forces have been dedicated to the left side by either team. Just one squad of Stern Pioneers to get this under control. They should win a solo engagement against any squad that goes to counter-harass. And almost all Allied attention is being focused on the battle group headquarters right here. Here comes Siddolio's Pio spam. He could at least stop and repair this Kuba wagon. That's really the least he could do. If he's gonna spam Pios, at least repair something every now and then. And he started with a minesweeper opening rather than... How did that even die? Oh, conscripts, I guess, at range. Maxim set up across the way, also a demo charge in this green cover position. A little territory being retaken by grenadiers there on the right side. Apparently this bunker is being destroyed just by this 50 cal. Apparently the penetration on the 50 cal is good enough to actually kill a bunker if you're patient enough, which I find amusing. Austrian mortar has been fielded and it's starting to pound away at the Maxim right there.
We just lost a unit.
Slowly but surely. Lots of infantry is clustering around this battle group headquarters, being used as a forward position to try and advance on Allied troops in this area. It looks like there's enough green... Ooh. Mortar just detonated the demo charge. That was kind of unlucky. It looks like there's enough green cover in this general area that you don't necessarily have to struggle too much in trying to advance into engagement range. Excuse me. Engagement range. But it's still open enough that making a frontal assault is difficult with a lot of machine guns spread everywhere. There's not very many shot blockers, so it can be difficult to set up a flank without the usage of smoke, etc. Might make smoke barrage a useful thing to utilize here on the mortar. I think this will be the first time I've ever seen a bunker destroyed by nothing but small arms fire. That is pretty impressive. Took a long time. They get the job done. Stern Pioneers have managed to harass all the way up here to this area. Oh man, doesn't this look just like Stursdorf? For a second I was like, whoa, this looks just like Stursdorf. A little bit of a COH1 flashback right there with the bus depot and like the big building cluster over there on the left side. That gave me some weird deja vu. Huge nostalgia right in the gut. That one hit me hard. For you COH1 fans. Rifle grenade bringing that Maxim low. Dushka also falling low. High explosive barrage from the AT gun trying to put pressure on the infantry in this trench. I think trenches might be the only green cover in the game that cannot be destroyed, by the way. Kind of an interesting thing about them. There's not very many green cover objects in the game that are like permanent and will not be destroyed by the end. So trenches are interesting in that regard. Permanent green cover as opposed to the temporary green cover that most objects provide. Rifle grenade on this clump brings that machine gun low. Siddolio's Pio spam obviously not going to do very well against this huge amount of infantry. Conscripts and riflemen plus Molotovs. He's just standing in the flames. There go those two squads. There's another grenade. And all of Siddolio's Pios have been wiped. What is he even doing? Okay, Siddolio. There go all those Pios. He's now reduced to just these two HMG-42s, and he's jumping up to battle phase 2, probably going to throw some Panzer IVs on the field. 800 manpower worth of Pios just got wiped, standing AFK in front of the entire Allied army. And then he dropped. Maybe he disconnected. I guess he disconnected. I don't know. Alright, well, there goes Siddolio. And the AI will take things over. Immediately packs up both HMGs, and I don't even know what they're doing. Drops smoke
Pioneers ready for assignment.
and fields some piles and grens. The map hasn't really changed much. Axis got control of the right side fuel and victory points briefly with this one harassing grenadier squad. Almost all allied forces are clustered in the center, and this squad of combat engineers is going to harass the right side. One squad could easily do the same here on the left. It's kind of weird to see both teams just hurling all of their units into this meat grinder in the center when there's so many priority points on the right and left sides, and neither team is even trying to get those under their control. I'm not sure why. This munitions point, easy pickings. This fuel cache could probably be cleaned up by any light vehicle. Victory point needs to get taken. This victory point needs to get taken. They could easily do so. No defenses over here at all. I don't think it's that difficult to get over there. I'm pretty sure they could path through here without any serious obstacles. It looks like some of the movements through this area might be kind of tight, but nothing too annoying. Not like Stalingrad tier of difficulty. These three squads are making their way over here. Whoa, you can salvage this Kappa wagon?
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
That's not good. That needs to change. How many free 5 fuel things are laying around on this map, I wonder? It needs to be changed. As far as I know, in the map editor, there's no easy way to toggle whether something can be salvaged on or off. You actually have to be very careful about what wrecks you utilize so that OKW will not be able to salvage them, which is obviously kind of an error in the way salvaging was programmed. More than it's an error on the map maker's fault. But yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that. I mean, I have no idea why this thing would be salvageable. It doesn't even look like a Kappa wagon wreck. It looks like it's like a running Kappa wagon or something. I don't even know.
Manufacturing capability has been increased.
So yeah, I really feel like Relic needs to do something about that more so than the map makers, because that's a problem on almost every map. I mean, how hard could it be for Relic to just put in something that's like the vehicle has to have been produced by somebody, rather than an ambient object on the map? I don't understand. Over here on the right side, Folks Grenadiers are going to get that fuel under control, and conscripts are moving to counter now. I wonder if they can salvage these T-26 wrecks. I hope not. That's not even a unit that anybody can make. That wouldn't even make any sense. I wonder if that's something that I can check from within observer mode. Not really, because I can't click the button.
Combat unit ready. Enemy infantry!
I don't know.
Command level capabilities ready for
Funnel grenade right there. Little damage, but he will retreat. All in all, looks like the battle lines have barely shifted. Allies will maintain control of the center and right. Over here on the left side, Siddolio's AI is actually doing pretty good harassment. Sending some grenadiers to the left. Takes out a Maxim machine gun, which is not being monitored, before moving to get control of the munitions over there. If there's one thing the AI loves to do, it's harass territory.
available to drop
That's
stock.
the one thing the AI is good at.
It is safe behind this wall.
Allies definitely need to do some counter-harassment over there on the left. As far as tech, Tier 3 is being constructed now. The American player has gone with a Major and has had the fuel for tanks for a long time, but I don't think he's fielded any, so a little bit late in that regard. Siddolio has a 4 right here, dealing a little bit of damage to these shock troops, which are going to see some cover as they pull back to a more safe location. And the Allies don't really have very much anti-tank. Over here they have 2 field guns. Other than that, they don't have much.
Grenade! Replacements have arrived. Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
Mortars forced to retreat. Huge bundle grenade on those conscripts. Conscripts will retreat. Oversoldaten up to 10 kills already. They're off to a pretty good start. Considering it seems to be a predominantly long-range map, they should perform well, but he needs to try and make better usage of cover. Just walking into his opponent's squads in green cover, and he will probably lose engagements as a result. Yellow cover is okay, but green is better. This crater gives green cover, but I don't think he can squeeze the whole squad inside of it. Austrian on the field over here from Hetty. But there are field guns available to screen him away. Over here on the left side, we finally have a little bit of counter harassment from these assault engineers, and apparently a grenadier squad got wiped by something. So this territory is going to start falling back into Allied hands, and again, there's almost no defense over here. The AI has decided to field a sniper. See how well that does. And there is the first M10, Chris, who has gone armored company. And again, it looks like he's going to go with Collins only rather than fielding some non-doctrinal tanks, which is leaving all of his tanks extremely late. 240 fuel in the bank for some kind of mediocre units. I don't know why he wouldn't just get some of his non-doctrinal stuff. Not that the M10 is bad or anything, but Jackson's basically much better. See how he decides to use it though. M10's going to maybe take out that half-track right there. Smoke just got deployed here for whatever reason. Incendiary are in the center to try and put some pressure on these infantry. Oversoldat burning to death. What are you doing? Full squad dies. Panther on the field finds an opportunity on that M10, is going in hard. The AI sure loves spamming that smoke thing. I don't know if that's really accomplishing anything, but alright. Panther on the flank will finish off the M10. Second M10 doesn't really make it to the engagement in time, and that Panther's going to pull back for some repairs. He doesn't really want to lose that tank. With T-34 here and a second M10, he probably would not win an engagement. The AI is blocking him a little bit with that half-track. When it goes down, Panther should be able to get to safety. And there's also a Sherman over here, so yeah, that's way too much for that lone Panther to take on. Sirius needs to get that back. Austin receiving repairs here as well. The Axis continue to struggle a little bit for victory points. Allies will maintain control of the center and right side, although the Axis do have a 100 victory point lead, so all in all they're doing pretty well. But that lead is about to disappear as they get triple capped right now.
We now have access to additional battlefield options. We heard you.
So much for that. That's 3 M4C Shermans on the field from Cootied. He's going to have a fourth pretty soon. He has plenty of pop cap to spare, and their fuel income is huge with these 2 fuel caches, control of the right side and center fuel points. Axis are going to really struggle against this flood of allied armor, although they are preparing somewhat with the purchase of these Panzer Grenadiers with their Shreks. Close air support will be able to fund the purchase of tons of Panzer Shreks, and they're going to be pretty much necessary to deal with the massive amounts of tanks that are on their way. There's the 4th M4C Sherman now. There goes that one, due to some nicely placed Rakettenwerfers right there. 1 Sherman down, probably several more to go. The left side is being taken pretty much unopposed by these Panzer Grenadiers, and the Allied stronghold right here shows no signs of breaking anytime soon. Axis still have a long way to go before they're going to field some really scary stuff. That Panther is pretty much the scariest thing on the field right now. Close air support probably won't be fielding any tanks in the immediate future, other than this Ostwind. And I don't even know what the AIs are going to do, other than spam smoke planes and half-tracks. So much for that thing. Incendiary artillery forces some retreats. Kills over here. 3 Shermans should be able to gun down that Ostwind if they chase, but it looks like it might get away. About to round a corner right there, and I don't think the Allies plan to chase. I don't know, that T-34 wants to. 2 Reckenwerfers available to screen, in addition to a Panther. The Ostwind will go down, and the T-34 will also go down. These tank traps are kind of making it a little difficult for that Panther to maneuver. Be kind of careful with your tanks because of all these random obstacles everywhere.
Half-track has arrived.
And a lot of Hetty's infantry is getting gunned down on retreat. The full Panzer Grenadier squad wiped. I'm not sure this one's going to get away either. The Grenadiers get away narrowly, but they dropped their MG42. Apparently they had 2. Rakettenwerfers move up to try and screen against further chasing, and that tank will pull back to safety. So Rakettenwerfers are doing pretty good work this game. Geez, 7 kills? 5 infantry kills. 2 infantry kills. So they've each destroyed 1 vehicle, nothing too ridiculous. Apparently they're doing great against infantry somehow. I guess if you shoot at infantry long enough, you're gonna start getting kills with them.
Infantry attacking in force!
Squad wiped over there, squad wiped over here, Obersoldaten chased away by the KV-8. Rakettenwerfers continue to screen away armor somehow. I can't believe how effective those Rakettenwerfers have been. They've done so much damage. You might see some pretty high vet Rakettens this game. M10 takes a big hit from the Panther right there. Deals a pretty decent amount in exchange. Panther going to pull back. Field gun also doing a bit of damage. Smoke falling from the AI on that stuff may delay further shots from that field gun. Panther's going to simply pull back for some repairs. On the right side, the Allied conscripts will be forced away by serious infantry forces. 2 Volksgrenadier squads and Sturmpyos chase that off with scout car support. M4C Sherman moving into the center. Second M4C right there, bringing that Panzer Grenadier squad rather low. And they will get wiped. Over here on the right side, the scout car is taken out. And the M10s moving up from the left flank will take out that half-track as well, but the Rakettenwerfers will wipe that M10 out, and I think an AT strafe got called in, but it's a little late. It will get dodged easily enough. That's the 3rd vehicle I've seen those Rakettenwerfers snipe. But all of the AI's stuff is dying. Some sort of dive bomb is falling somewhere. Field gun will get wiped by that. It's being monitored. One of the Rakettenwerfers has been cleared. Sirius probably recrew that with some infantry in the area. He does not have the retreat point unlocked right here, so every time he retreats he does have to go all the way back to base. Gonna take a little while to recover that Rakettenwerfer. It looks like it will just get stolen. Unless it doesn't retreat. Okay. It's wiped. And there's still 4 M4C Shermans on the field over here, in addition to a pretty decent amount. There's 2 M10s. There's a 3rd one. Plus a bulldozer right there, so this armor company spam is getting pretty hardcore. Both fuel points about to fall back into Allied hands. Axis just can't seem to get a fuel point under their control, but I don't think there have been very significant Axis armor losses yet. The Allies, on the other hand, have lost quite a bit of stuff. The Panther, still alive. I know an Ostwind did go down, though. And, I mean, Siddolio's light vehicle spam. I mean, I wouldn't really expect the AI to contribute very much for the rest of this game anyway. So, yeah. Not going to be an easy game for the Axis 2 versus 3. That was a pretty good dive bomb. Decaps that point and almost destroys that Sherman. They don't have anything in range that can really follow up though. Recon pass coming in to try and get vision. Maybe he can follow up with an anti-tank strafe. If he's not paying attention, doesn't dodge it. Doesn't currently have, it's not off cooldown, but he has a zillion munitions. The Axis have so much munitions right now. There's an IS-2 on the field from CourageousFeeder who has gun shock rifle. In addition to his KV-8, the mortar gets cleared, Rekenworfer retreats, Panther pulling back a little bit. And again, battle lines haven't really shifted very dramatically. The map looks pretty much exactly the same as it has all game long. Except we're finally seeing a little bit more harassment on the left side by the Allies. These three conscript squads should win pretty easily against everything that's over here unless they get pushed away by a anti-tank strafe or something. Or anti-infantry strafe. Which they might. Look at that. Pins all three squads down with their LMG and flamethrower. There goes one squad. There goes two. All three. Full retreat. Wait, what is that? Is that zeroing artillery? Zeroing artillery just got dropped to clear out three squads of conscripts. I don't know. That's kind of a lot of munitions. That's going to make it kind of scary to even try and take over this victory point while that's falling, because I don't know, if he stood away from the corpses of those conscripts, he'd probably be safe. He's going to move in. Should be fine. AI sniper's just going to die. It's just manpower just wasted. Over here in the center, the fuel point is proving very difficult to contest. Rekenworfer and Obers are unlikely to win an engagement against this armada. Look at this massive force. 3 M10s, bulldozer, IS-2, KV-8. Although a lot of it is desperately in need of repairs, and the American player could repair all of this pretty quickly if he just hopped out with his vehicle crews. But still, this is just so much stuff. That's going to be a lot to take on. M4C Shermans continue maintaining control over this area. Field Gun and Panther move up to see if they can make something happen. I think something just got destroyed right there. No, that's just an ambient. Right. Anti-tank strafe is off target, doesn't really hit anything. M10s move up to assist in the engagement. Volks Grenadiers will get the point under control before either dying or retreating. Looks like they're gonna die. I don't think they're being monitored. There they go. Nope. Panzerschreck squad's moving up to see if they can make something happen here in the center. Field Gun will destroy the main gun of that. M4C Sherman goes down. Panther needs to move to assist in this engagement, but it's a little out of range. Here comes the Panzerschreck blob. They will get in range on that M10 and destroy it easily enough. Ambulance is probably next. Nope, switch targets to the M4C Sherman right there. Rekenworfer snipes the ambulance from range. Panther moving up from the back to support, and another Sherman goes down. Jeez, these tanks are going down like it's nothing. That Panzerschreck blob is so scary. And those Shermans are just not dealing any damage. Trying to kite them to death is clearly not working. And I think 3 M4C Shermans just got taken down by a move Panzerschreck blob right there. And a KV-8 over here. Jeez. Horrible engagement for the Allies. Barely any kills on this Panzerschreck blob. There goes one squad right there. I think Hetty will be forced to retreat. There goes that squad. And I think that Sherman will be fine. Still, really, really nasty engagement. That was extremely cost effective. Traded 1 Panzerschreck squad for like 4 tanks. He's gonna queue up 2 more. Easily be able to afford that. And the Panther's doing quite well as well. M10 falling down pretty low. Bulldozer's not going to be able to do much against that. The Allies are purchasing a bunch of bazookas of their own to try and help against what little Axis armor there is. But really, one of the biggest concerns is just that Panzerschreck blob. I need some really tough anti-blob measures to deal with that. Cootied is actually going to field an M5 assault group to the left side. Probably not a bad idea. You can move that around really quickly and get territory under control. They'll probably be able to destroy this cache reasonably quickly. But a Panzerschreck squad is making their way over here to the left side.
Stuka AT support standing by for orders. We have new resources available. Russian tank crushed.
He needs to get the guards out of the building and close it to short range. I don't think he's even watching the engagement. Wow. Grenade into the half track brings the squad of guards quite low, and I don't actually know who wins this engagement. Probably the guards, honestly. There's only one SDG-44 left right here. Might depend on another grenade toss, and 2 squads of infantry are moving to support as well. Over here in the center, what just died? Another Sherman just died to that Panther. The Allies' armor preservation in this game has just been terrible. So bad. King Tiger on the field, in addition to that Panther, is going to make the Allied armor situation even harder. Victory points still pretty even, 270-ish for both sides. Haven't really moved all that much. Panzer Grenadiers getting control of the munitions point back. Right side victory points still heavily contested. Siddolio's AI has finally transitioned to medium tanks rather than light vehicle spam. But 250 fuel is in the bank. M4C Sherman moves up on the right side to engage that Panzer IV. Will probably win that engagement. All 3 victory points currently in Axis control, and the Allies don't seem to have a very coordinated plan to take any particular area. Small force heading for the right side VP will contend against that Panther, and nothing is moving for the center or left. The left is actually being contested by a KV-8. I don't really know if that KV-8 can survive this many Panzer Shreks, though. They unleashed their whole volley at a conscript squad. KV-8 has no chance of success in that engagement regardless. Has way too many Panzer Shreks. Has to be careful with that thing. Panzer Grenadiers trying to find an opening against it. Infantry models getting sniped by explosives and STGs alike. That squad will get wiped. I'm not sure he's actually monitoring this. KV-8's gonna burst through the wall. He's gonna gamble. I don't think he can win this though. He does bring 2 models down and force 1 retreat. Panzer Shreks walk out into the road through the new opening, and there it goes. KV-8 destroyed easily, and all conscripts wiped. Horrible engagement. Meanwhile, over here on the right side, the King Tiger's actually falling pretty low. So that M4C Sherman, I guess, and maybe some other stuff. I don't know. I wasn't watching the engagement, so it might go down. Rear armor's exposed, takes a big hit, main gun destroyed, M10 moving up from the left flank, but the Panther is going to deal damage to that. There goes the Sherman, but the King Tiger will be destroyed, out of control thanks to M10s on the flank. Anti-tank strafes coming in are dealing pretty heavy damage to those M10s though. IS-2 moving up to try and seal the deal on that Panther. It's got to get behind this shot blocker if possible. It's falling really low. One more shot from that IS-2. Bounces. Cruise shock. So many plane abilities coming in. That M10 also still has not been destroyed. There it is. Panther abandoned. He needs to destroy it though. He needs to stick around and actually destroy it. IS-2 has plenty of health left if wish to do so. Rakettenwerfer blasts the M10, but it is pinned by the Dushka right there. Is he really going to let that thing survive? King Tiger destroyed, Panther abandoned. He really needs to try and seal the deal on that thing, though. There's nothing here to push him away except 1 Rakettenwerfer. Looks like he's getting a little more brave. Here he goes, moving up to finish the job. Takes his first shot at the Rakettenwerfer, though. I guess he wants to try and wipe this thing. Just kill that Panther, though. Kill it. Kill it! Oh my goodness. Both Rakettenwerfers cleared. IS-2 will not be able to get the shot off. Field gun shot bounces. Stern Pios need to retreat. Top mount machine gun bringing them so low. And they're dead. There it is. Stern Pios wiped. King Tiger wiped. Panther wiped. Both Rocket Morphers wiped. Sirius is reduced to nothing but 2 Volks Grenadier squads and 2 Ogres. Pretty good engagement for the Allies, although they do trade a lot of tanks in exchange. And that Austrian might actually kill that IS-2. No, I don't think it will. I don't know. Maybe. Trying to pull it back to safety. I don't see any other Axis units available in the area to follow up and try and finish the job on that thing. And that Austrian's probably going to go down to field gun and IS-2 fire. There it goes. That M10's going to go next. As the Panzerschreck blob advances, that IS-2 really needs to get to safety. It definitely will not survive an engagement against it. American infantry on the left side doing what they can. Should be able to take some territory back over here. There's not a whole lot in the area available to push them away, except an anti-infantry strafe if they don't split up a little bit. Thompson's on the vehicle crews upgraded as well, but overall it seems all engagements are going in favor of the Axis, despite Why So Serious losing pretty much everything. It may not matter that much. He's throwing a new Panther on the field. He still has his Ogres. This Panzerschreck blob will easily eat any Allied tank alive at this point. It's gotten way too strong. Thanks to the magic of close air support. Just killing everything. I don't know why he retreated right there. He could have stuck around a little longer and blown up the guns with his Panzerschrecks. It doesn't make that much of a difference, though. I think the Allies are probably really hurting for manpower. Well, maybe not that badly. They're all floating 400 or more. But their armies are looking a little small. 2 conscripts and a Dushka, 1 shock troop squad and a field gun. And then these 5 squads. Allies need to spend their resources, get some fresh infantry on the field, or they're going to get pushed completely off the map. And I feel like the American could be capping a little quicker over here, taking its sweet time. Get any territory under their control. Just standing there with these 3 squads. Gonna get pushed back by 1 flamethrower grenade as soon as that anti-infantry strafe comes in. Fortunately, it's on cooldown right now. Shock troops moving through the right side. What are those Ogres doing? Standing in fire. Apparently they're fine, despite being in fire. There's the late retreat, but he does get away. Shock troops moving up, try and get some territory. Are unlikely to succeed solo. There's a command Panzer IV from the AI. Man, that smoke spam. I don't understand what makes the AI decide to just drop smoke every single time it's off cooldown, but okay. There's a broom bear too. Wow, the AI has finally transitioned to tier 4 vehicles. Look at that. Let's see how that does. Only took 38 minutes. Lieutenant will move to get some of this territory under control. They've also got the victory point. Teller mines? No, S mines going down over here on the left side. Fuel cache. The Allies have been pushed all the way back into the base over here on the right. The Axis are clearly focusing almost all efforts on the right, which is giving the American players some space to get territory on the left, but I think that's really very temporary. He won't be able to hold that ground against much of anything. Panzerschreck Blob is making its way over here. Should easily win this engagement, especially since they're upgraded with bazookas. Or that could happen and he won't even need to engage. So much for all of the American players' infantry.
Enemy contact! Where are they coming from? The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Well, so much for that broom bear. But hey, it was fun while it lasted. They traded a T-34 for it. Great trade. Overall, it doesn't look too good for the Allies. I don't know if they can come back from this horrible situation. Having lost control of both fuel points, pretty much the entire right side there. Fuel income is terrible. 7 fuel coming in. They won't be able to keep up their huge armor production that they had before, and the Axis war machine is just going to keep getting stronger. Sirius has that second Panther on the field. He's probably going to go King Tiger again next. That's going to be 2 Panthers and 2 King Tigers fielded by him this game. Zeroing artillery just got dropped on this extremely feeble Allied push here on the right side. Close air support player might consider transitioning up from this point. He did get an Ostwind a long time ago, but he's just making more Panzer Grenadiers. Just massive blobs of Panzer Grenadiers everywhere.
Down to 75
the Allies
points.
just can't seem to handle it. Only 75 points now remain, and as soon as Hetty makes his way to this victory point, they'll be triple capped and probably not be able to recover from there. Well, there goes Siddolio's Panther. Dive bomb in the base, trying to keep the Allies down while the left side victory point gets taken. There's a small Allied counterattack making its way left. Probably won't succeed. I don't know, all plane abilities are currently on cooldown. There's not that much stuff over here. Those flamethrowers need to get in there though. I mean, even if they do succeed in stopping the triple cap, all it's really going to do is delay the inevitable.
We have hammered the enemy down to 50 points. We have new resources available. Bastards incoming! Stuka bombers available at your directive.
Molotov forces a retreat from that blob of infantry right there, but whatever, it doesn't matter. There it is. Allies surrender knowing that they cannot come back from this situation, and it's GG. I would say that map control was pretty much the name of the game here. At any point, pretty much whoever controlled these 2 fuel points and was able to flood the map with tanks was the one in the lead. There was a point at which Sirius lost pretty much everything he had, but it didn't matter because the Axis had total map control. Sirius could replace his losses, and the Allies couldn't replace theirs. Panzerschreck blobs from ahead. He just took out tanks left and right over here on the right side, and the Allies just totally faltered and couldn't hold any more ground. And that's pretty much what lost them the game. GG, Axis wins.